you tired of being awesome alone? So am I, because I fired Charles for the night. Don't worry, we got Bob McGough with us tonight, so we can be awesome together. We can also turn off our phones. Ooh, Bob, yes. Welcome, everybody. I have no idea if we're live or not. I'm hoping that Kaz, who's always with us in the background, will let me know, because I don't have a clue. And I'm having to run the stream right now. Oh, I just got a notice from Twitch. So, Bob, we are at least live on one channel.
There we go. That's all we need.
Yeah, we have each other. What more could we want? And a turtle.
Exactly.
I've got a turtle, too.
Yeah, there we go.
I know. Poor Bob he got on and I wasn't here, and there was a sign that said, "Spilled water all over myself. Be right back."
Yeah. Yeah. Which, I was just thankful for the note, because otherwise I would have just logged in and just, what's going on here?
Did she leave? Did they kidnap her? Aliens, Bob. Aliens.
Well, and as I was telling Tyra before I got on, every so often her chair would move. And I was like, is her house haunted? Like, what's going on here? And then, like, after it did like 3 or 4 times, her dog like ran out of the room. I was, oh, okay. It was the dog the whole time.
Well, Valencia is with us, and I have news. I have no idea how to put these things. There.
Hey.
I'm learning things.
Yeah.
As we go tonight. Just letting everybody know. Hi, Sarah Rose. Good to see you too. Okay. It's crazy here. So, I'm just warning you, Bob. This is a new system, and I've never been the one doing the thingies. So,
right. Yeah.
Who knows?
It's all good. It's all good.
We're
here.
Gonna
have fun.
We're live. So, we talk about you all the damn time on here, just so you know. Okay. You're like, yeah, that Bob that does the thing. And then we talk about Bob, and we're like, yeah, one day he'll be on, and maybe. And here we are, Bob.
Yeah.
So tell the people who Bob McGough is. Besides, are you really a redneck wizard, or do you just write about them?
I just write about them, but I aspire. I'm a bit of a redneck, and I wish I was a wizard. So,
okay.
There we go. So, but yeah, I'm an author from South Alabama. That I write a series of books about a redneck wizard with a crippling meth addiction. And then I also do a lot of podcasting. At this point, mostly guesting on other people's podcasts, because my life is just a hot mess.
I understand.
And then I do game design, like indie RPG game design. So
I wore this just for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So that's the bulk of what I do. I'm also I'm huge on transparency. As an author and like I guess, small businessman. So if you go to my website every month, I do blog posts where I break down the reality of being me, with all the sales numbers, all the social media growth, shrinkage, all that, just super transparent, so that people out there who want to be like me can see what it's really like.
Don't we all want to know? And I believe they can find that at tellsbybob.com.
Correct.
I was so glad I guessed correctly while I was.
Yeah.
I have no idea how I did that.
I figured out a long time ago that no one would ever be able to remember how to spell my last name. So, Tales by Bob it was, and is.
If you were from a certain generation.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But
I know how to say it and spell it.
Yeah.
Well, Bob, you may not know this, but we have something on the show called Shelf Watch. It's this right here.
Yeah.
No improvement on Shelf Watch from last week, people. And thanks for asking. And please keep me in your thoughts and prayers as we continue on, because grades are due tomorrow and I go on vacation next week. So, no, that's going to stay just like that. So next, whenever I see you all, that's going to look the same. Good times.
Yeah.
So, we're working on The Office, Bob. And you're in a different, that looks completely different than the last time I was on camera with you.
It is. And you can't really see it that much.
I can see it. You got your vest and your banner. And
yeah, the real changes are that way where like my actual desk and stuff are, and then that way, which is where all the bookcases full of inventory, book
That's what I
inventory
say.
for the most
Bob's
part.
books.
Bob's books, yeah. So I got two creaking, um, creaking in pain bookshelves beside me here that I just did like a 200 book order. Figured I'd try and
Oh, that's
I feel
good.
like I feel like Amazon's probably just going to arbitrarily increase their prices and blame it on tariffs for ordering books at cost. So I was
Seems
like,
reasonable.
let me just go ahead and get an order in before they do that. So
Well, so if you need a book, talesbybob.com.
yeah,
Go over there and get yourself a book.
yep.
So, where are the cats and the litter boxes?
They're in a totally different room now.
No, no
Mm.
more litter robots.
No more. The cats are still like now the door is shut because they would not leave me alone.
Well, we
And
like to
actually
visit.
you can't see it, but there's a window right behind my monitors, and so the
Oh,
cats they come crawl under my monitors and go get in the window all the time. So the cats, and actually this room is carpeted, unlike my old office which had hardwood,
oh,
and so
nice.
now
Better.
they just like will walk in and just like flop anywhere because oh
I,
carpet yeah
I love a
so
floppy kitty.
yeah, but I got some cat beds in here. We've got I think 4 cat beds for 3 cats.
Hey, that
So
sounds good.
I got to give them options. So
Options are very important. I
yeah,
mean, like,
yeah,
is he? I don't know where. Wow. I don't have a Dobby. I always have a Dobby when I'm recording, but
yeah,
that little has left me. My husband's home, so you know.
yeah, yeah. That whenever the wife gets home, 2 of the cats pretty promptly abandon me. So I've got Oscar. He's my pud.
Aw.
I'm his favorite, and
Oh,
so
good.
he will still hang out. But the other 2 quickly abandoned me,
Like,
abandoned me for my
oh,
wife.
the better one's home.
Well, they're like, oh, she feeds us, so
Oh,
I water them, but they don't care about that. They
no,
they
they
just care
don't.
about the food. So
Yeah. My husband gives them the wet food.
see, we do we've got the automated feeder, so we just like
Oh,
once a week we top off that, but then yeah, we've got those churro treats for
oh
like hairball
yes.
control, and one of our newest cat, Noodle, was a street cat.
Noodle.
He as a kitten he got adopted by someone with a disability. We don't know all the details, but they were not able to take care of him, and he got out and like lived on the
Oh,
street for a couple weeks or something like
poor
that, and then
baby.
the rescue agency took him back.
Right.
And so that's when we got him, and so uh, those churro treats come out, and he immediately reminds you that he's been on the streets, and he's going to take that churro away
Hmm.
from you and growl at you as he does it.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
yeah,
Okay.
only thing he does it about. Like he has no other food insecurity, but
But
those
churros.
those churros, game over.
Gotcha. Both of ours were strays that were found, but Gidget was the one that was pregnant, knocked up teenager on the streets.
Mm, yeah,
And so she loves her food.
yeah, yeah.
Loves her food.
Well, none of our puds are slim. Uh, uh, we had to dial the feeder back a little bit just to
Try to.
uh, yeah. None of them are they're not chunks, but
Oh, Gigi's
they
a chunk.
they they it's clear they have not missed many meals.
Yeah.
So
No, Gigi has not missed a meal and she's a little chubby.
yeah,
Leia, on the other hand, is like svelte. She's just
yeah,
skinny and long and beautiful, and she'll cut a, you know what,
yeah,
in a heartbeat. I didn't know cats could growl until we got her. I
yeah,
was like, "What's that sound?" And Shane's like, "That's the cat." I'm like, "She's under the sofa. I can hear the growl, and I can just about feel it, and she's only 7 pounds."
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
cats punch above their weight class. They're
Oh,
they're intense. I love them.
the the 52-pound pit bull is a little, scared of
Yeah,
her. As
right.
well he should be. Let me just say
Yeah,
that. As well he should be.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Bob, how did you find your way to the digital media track?
Gosh, how did I?
Because I'm not even sure where we met. I've been trying to remember.
I think we met at Multiverse.
We do? Okay, I can't remember if
That
it's
well,
Multiverse or Dragon.
that may not be where we met. We may have met at Dragon, but where
Right.
we
Became
got to know each
friends.
other was Multiverse, I think. But because it's just a little slower pace. Dragon Con is just
Just a little.
so, you're going. You don't have as much time to just take a breath and have a conversation. You know,
Strap your shoes on and get ready, honey.
right, right. But I I think what oh, I know how it happened. I emailed the track
Oh,
and well, correction, I emailed Nancy Knight first because years ago
yes.
they did a panel called Podcasting for Authors,
I did not know
and
that.
I went to it. It was like a Monday morning panel, and it was one of the first panels that I was like, it was the first panel at DragonCon that I went to. I was like, I should be on this. Like I should be on this panel.
I should be here.
Um, and so the next year, I reached out, or I think it was probably like 2 years later. I reached out. I emailed Nancy because I thought the writers track did it because it was in the Hyatt, weirdly.
That's
Um,
weird.
and I asked her, I was like, "Hey, y'all did this. It was not in the writers track room. It was just in this other weird room. I don't know how it came to be, but
I
I
had
emailed
no
her.
idea about this.
Yeah, I emailed her. It's like, hey, y'all did this panel in the past. If you do it again, I'd love to be on it. And she's like, yeah, that was not us. That must have been digital media. And so I emailed digital media and was like, or maybe face. I can't remember. Somehow
You did something.
I contacted someone and was like, hey, y'all did a podcasting for authors panel. I would, if y'all ever do that again, I'd love to be on it. And they were like, oh, we do everything in the Discord, so you need to come to the Discord. And
Our Discord.
yeah, and so I started hanging out in there a little bit, and I guess it was that year I suggested that panel, um,
Ah,
and they did it. They accepted it, and so I did that on the digital media track. I think 2 years ago now.
all right.
It wasn't last year, so it had to be the year before.
Had to be,
Um,
yeah.
so, and then it's just been all downhill from there. I just get more and more Charles in my life. Every time I turn around, I just doing more stuff with that man. Um, it's
What
just
can we say?
he actually I was in Huntsville and
Oh, yes.
he shot me a text. He's like, hey, I think I'm near your house. And I was like, he's like, how close are you to the casino? I was like, I mean, normally I'm not very far, but
Not
I'm
there
in it.
today.
I'm not. I'm at a convention. He's like, oh, okay. And then yeah, we talked when I got back, and it turns out he was. I could have seen him with binoculars from my, really well, maybe a telescope from my front yard. So
Well,
yeah, so he's
just,
stalking. He's stalking
I was
me.
going to say,
You
he's
know,
stalking you.
yeah. But
I
he,
don't know if anybody out there in podcast and Twitch and live stream land heard that, but there was a
yeah.
drum beat. If you did, let me know because I'm playing with things on the show.
Was two drums and a cymbal fall into a hole. But
Yeah. Oh, wait. Hold it. Drum two. Oh, I didn't like that as much. We'll go back to
there we
that
go.
one.
There we
Yeah,
go.
Charles doesn't let me have controls. Oh,
Which
Valencia heard it.
good, good, good,
Yay.
good. Which I mean, let's be real. If there's an adult in the room, it's not going to be me and Charles. It's going to be you. So if anyone should
Yes.
have control, if anyone should have control over the machinery, it should be in the
You're
hands of the adult.
you're 100% true. I'm hearing I don't know what my dog is doing. Thankfully, y'all can't see him because all
I
you
don't
would
even hear
see
him.
is
So
he's I don't know. He's having a moment.
yeah,
Valencia heard all of them, so that's awesome. I'm so excited. I am going to have so much fun and probably drive everybody crazy.
yeah.
See, this is what I need in my life. So, Bob, I just got your newsletter
Hmm.
and a post that you put up on social
Yeah,
about how you're changing how you're going to do things. And I think one of the
yeah.
most unique things about you is that You've been so transparent. When you said you were transparent about it, you've been so transparent about your journey and about how this next part is happening. So, can you tell me a little bit more about that? Share that
Yeah,
with the audience. And by the way, Valencia, I love the yay too.
yeah. So basically, a number of things all kind of coalesced together, and in my mind. And part of it was, for those who don't know, I do a ton of events with an author named Ben Meeks, where he's my road dog. We do events together all the time. We do a weekly meeting on Zoom, on Google Meet every week, and just plot basically. we
That's
we
awesome.
we stay scheming. So and we've both been talking at length about like what does the future hold. Like we're both getting older. I just turned 40 on Sunday. What?
Oh, you baby.
I know, but we can both see
Yeah.
the future and doing conventions, schlepping books, hundreds of pounds of books into conventions at age 60 does not really appeal. Um, and I mean, let's be
Don't
real.
say that.
I'm
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 f- I'm right near that age.
I'm fat and lazy, and schlepping hundreds of pounds of books at 40 is not it's not appealing to me. Um, that's why I spend so much money on my fancy rolling cart thing.
Oh yeah, no, that thing's awesome. Both of you
Yeah,
have really, yeah.
yeah. But it was pricey, but for my lazy self, it was worth it. Anywho, so all that. And basically, I just got down and did the math. We do a lot of events with an author named Richard Fierce, and he makes a lot more money than we do, but he does 30 to 40 events in a year. um, I have come to know some other authors like James Maxey, who he does a bunch of very large, and
I've got a problem. I
no,
am so sorry.
no, you're
This
good.
is this is what happens when they put me in charge. Okay,
You're
so
good.
while I was trying to figure out what the was going on, I managed to like take you off the stream for just a brief second. But
Okay.
while you were talking about whoever you were talking
Yeah.
about, so
Okay.
go
Yeah.
back to talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah. So we do a lot of events with an author named Richard Fierce, and he
Thank you.
sells a lot of books. But he does like 30 to 40 events a year. Um, I see like James Maxey. He does this for a living. But he does a lot of events. And he also has a lot more books than me. He's got probably like 30 or 40 books. But I look at these people, and I know what I sell, and I know the reality of if I'm firing on all cylinders, if I had a few more books on the table, I think really the most I could expect to make would be about 2 grand on a weekend, and consistently 2 grand. And I can't do 30 or 40 events in a year, because I like being married, and my wife would not.
Yes.
She would not remain married to me. Um, so that kind of coalesced at the same time that uh, I had been trying to get into Jordan Con as a guest for years,
Oh, that's right.
and
It's a hard one to get on.
it is, and 2 years ago when it happened, because it just happened, 2 years ago, I had a tractor. She's like, "I'm going to get you in, man. I'm going to get you in," and I still didn't get in.
Oh no.
And so this year it conflicted with an event I'd already committed to, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to apply. I'm probably not going to get in, but if I do, I can talk with the people I've already committed to doing with, and we can fill my spot. Won't be a problem. Plenty of time. And Jordan Con accepted me on the first pass. I was like, oh, well,
Bob.
it's like, cool, awesome. I'm in this time. Uh, this time I had two track directors trying to get me, so that's what
That
helped.
helps. You got it
That
pushed
helps.
over that edge.
Yeah. And so I told Richard and Ben that, hey guys, I'm not going to do Huntsville this year after all. I'm going to do Jordan Con. And about a month out from Jordan Con, they opened up booking for Authors Alley, and it sold out in like 20 minutes.
Oh
And
my.
I signed onto the website at like minute 22.
Oh, Bob.
I couldn't get any space, and it was one of those deals like, if I can't sell, I just don't, I've got an event where I can sell, and they tried to work something, they tried to see if anyone would share with me, and, like, this was they were not being malicious. They tried to work with me. We just couldn't make
Right.
it happen, and so as it got close, I I I had to make a decision, so I talked to Richard and Ben, like, "Hey, if I can get my spot back in Huntsville, I would like it. If you can't, no worries." But I was able to get back in, and I was just instantly filled with regret. Now Huntsville was a great event. I sold like $1,500 in books. It was my best
Nice.
non event to date. And I love doing events with Richard and Ben, but it's a vendor con. It doesn't have that Dragon Con or Jordan Con or Multiverse feel to it. It's just a big
Right.
room with a bunch of vendors and celebrities that you pay for their autograph. That's it. And
It just feels different.
it does. I fundamentally don't like vendor cons. I like the camaraderie of fandom and having conversations
Yeah.
beyond just bumping into someone in the vendor hall and liking their cosplay. So doing that, feeling that regret, seeing all the pictures of people at Jordan Con on panels and
Oh.
so many, like, it's, yes, I love doing stuff with Richard and Ben, but I get to do stuff with Richard and Ben all the time. Jordan Con, there's a lot of folks that would have been my only chance this year to see them probably. And
Aw.
so that coalescing with the reality of what I know, if I can do 10 or 12 events a year and I can at best make 2 grand on average at them, I mean, that's 24 grand a year. That's not a livable wage.
No.
And so, but at the same time, the cool thing about Huntsville was I had 2 different people travel to the event just to meet me. And one of them, he told me he was not going to come to the event, but he saw I was going to be there. He had stumbled on me on Reddit and had read the series 3 times and
Oh.
read it a 4th time the week leading up to come in to meet me. And he had already read them all on KU, bought them in ebook form, but he wanted physical copies that were signed. So he came up there just to buy these books. And I almost cried. Like, this was,
Yeah, well, I
I,
would
it,
have.
it
So,
was un,
just
it
so
was
you
un,
know.
it was unfathomable to me. Like,
Right.
I've seen enough reviews where okay, people like my books. That makes sense to me. But the fact that there's all these books in the world that someone would reread my series multiple times, that
Times.
was just like, in what timeline am I living in? Um, and so all this kind of coalesced together to just tell me that I am now. It will probably mean that I take a step back on my earnings. Every
Right.
year that I've been doing this, I've earned more money than the year before. And it may mean in the short term that I'm going to take a hit and not make as much in a year as I did the year before. But I am now always going to make the decision on events on I'm taking money out of the equation as much as possible and focusing on doing events where I can be my weird self in front of people and acquire fans, because there's an upper limit on what I can do just from selling books at a vendor con.
No, it's true.
And if I want to do this for a living, I'm going to have to. These 2 people that came to see me, I
Gonna have to
need
be more.
I need 998 more. I think if I had 1,000 people like that, I could come much closer to making a living. So, so that's where I'm at. Is now I'm shifting my focus to uh, doing more to do panels.
Mhm.
I'm only going to I'm going to try, and some months there's just not a good fan con for me, and I will do a vendor con. But
Right.
other than that, I am really focusing on doing fan conventions that will let me panel a significant amount. Um,
Which
but we'll
means
see.
you need
We'll see
help
how
at
things
your
go.
booth then.
It does. So that's the rub. Because some of these, like Conjuration, I normally do like 11. I did like 11 panels there last year.
Insane.
2 years in a row, I've done 11 panels for them. Um, but Ben is always there, and me and him share a table. Ben does not enjoy doing panels as much as I do, so there's always normally someone at the. I mean, he likes doing panels, but not.
Not to the
I
extent you do.
I like doing panels is my favorite thing in the world. So
I get that.
uh, so there's someone there. So it is going to. Also, I got really lucky to meet James Hunter. He writes lit RPG. He's one of the big names in lit RPG.
Yes, yes, yes.
I got to go to dinner with him at Con Nuga. Like a bunch of us authors went, and
Nice.
it was basically like a master class. Like he just sat there and talked to
Damn
us, and
it.
like it was so good. But one thing that he was talking about was like the thing that makes the difference between folks who are, just fighting through the trenches like me and are making because he's also very transparent, and he was like,
Good.
he was very transparent with his numbers, and I'm not going to just throw them out there
No,
because
you can tell me
but
later though.
yeah, I can. But let's just say he
Better than
does
you.
he does
He
okay.
does okay.
But the difference between folks like me and folks like him is essentially that he has learned how to delegate
Mm-hmm.
more or less. That you know they get very analytical on what are all the steps to get a book out. They
Right.
find what the bottlenecks are, and like if the bottlenecks are, well, we'd get these out quicker if it didn't take Bob so long to get these covers made. And so then they're like, okay, well, hey,
Have
Bob doesn't.
somebody to,
Yeah, let's find someone else to do the covers so that Bob can do all the other things that Bob does, and just getting granular with that. And so that is something I need to be better about. My wife is always asking if there's anything she can do to help. And I'm always like, no, I got this. And there are things that she could probably be doing to help. And I just need to sit down and think about that.
put her to
And
work.
right. And look, I got a 14-year-old, I
Hey,
got, what's the point in having a kid if you can't have some slave
free
labor,
labor.
Um, so and that just
We're horrible.
that may be what it is. It may take a couple years, but when the kiddo's a little older, I'll probably just be bringing her to every convention and pay her to run the booth when I'm at panels. Um, but that's the thing is like work. I have a lot of friends who like going to conventions, or I need to just make connections with more authors that would like to share. Because like I got a few that I share with at events, but just broadening that up. So if it's an event that Ben's not doing, or someone like Alex or some of these other people that I've shared with, that I have a deep enough bench that's like, hey, look, I'm doing
Hey,
this event. Who wants to
who
come
wants
do?
who wants to be my buddy?
Right, yeah, and also, and anyone who's watching this offer applies to anyone. I allow anyone to come intern with me at my booth. Like if you're interested in learning how to hand sell books,
Yep.
or I mean, I sell books, but you could. I think it applies to pretty much anything at a convention. But you can come for a weekend. You have to buy your own pass and you have to feed yourself. But you can come hang out in my booth and I will teach you everything I know. Um, and I've done this. I've had a couple people take me up on this, including uh, an author named Sydney Reams, who sells a ton more books than me online.
That's not
Just
nice.
just a ton. She sells so many more books than me online. But she wanted to start doing in-person events. So last year at Huntsville, she came out for a couple of days, kind of job shadowed me and Ben. And then this year at Huntsville, she was actually a part of the booth.
Oh, cool.
She had learned enough, and she's like, "All right, cool. I know how to do this." And we had a slot available. We're like, "Hey, Sydney, why don't you come be a part?" And she sold almost as much as I did. So
Ah,
that was
when the
her like second event ever. So um, that's the
when
thing. So like you can come hang out with a slightly damp with sweat portly dude, um, and watch as people ooh and ah over all the variety of stuffed possums he has on his table.
you do have a lot of stuffed
if
possums.
if that's not a hook, I don't know what is.
Well, I'm sorry. A redneck wizard with a crippling meth addiction. I still remember. So Bob speaks to my classes, which I owe you. As soon as I survive grading,
Oh,
I'm
you're
going to
good.
write your recommendation. But he
You're
does a
good.
fabulous job talking to my students. But let me tell you, all their eyes go when he says that. It's like
Oh yeah.
they just woke up. This is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. If you come do that, you'll see how like 60% of people are just like, oh, okay, sure. And like 20% of people are like, back away, don't make eye contact.
Slowly.
Yeah. And then, but like 20% of people are just like, oh my God, what? Tell me
Tell
more.
me more.
Yeah. Or I don't need to hear anymore. Where's the first book? Be like, right there.
Right. I mean,
So
it is definitely
it's a
it's
line.
my favorite pitch ever, just to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm writing down something because I need to ask you a question when we're not on
Yeah.
air. So,
Well, it's your favorite pitch ever because we haven't shared a table, but but I have so many people that have shared tables or been near me. I
uh-huh.
can't remember. I can't remember what author it was, but uh, I did an event. We did not share a space, but we were like, I think
You were close.
we were caddy corner, and I ran into him at another event. Oh, hey, yeah, you may not remember me. She's like, you write a series of books about a redneck wizard with a crippling method. And I was like, oh yeah, you remember that, do you? She's like, yeah, I do. So
It is
it's
a fabulous elevator pitch. I mean, like,
it sticks
it
with
is
folks.
perfect. I mean, it's like a master class and a one liner. I mean, it's going to grab your attention. It's either going to hook you in or it's going to make you run for the hills.
Yeah,
There's really, not a lot of
yeah,
gray in there.
yeah,
And you're going to remember it.
yeah. But the running for the hills thing is not bad. I would
No,
if my pitch. If they don't like my pitch line, if they're like,
they're not going
oh,
to like that
they're not gonna
book.
like my books, and then I just saved
No.
us both time.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
So, well, hopefully within the next year, I'm hoping there'll be a cozy fantasy author that'll be
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah. No, I would happily share a booth space with you
then
anytime.
all them that are
Let me
afraid
know
of your
when.
meth wizard can come over to my happy space. Like,
Yeah.
if you just want happy, come over here.
Well, that was how at Huntsville, we had 9 authors in the booth. It was an island.
Okay, good.
So,
So you didn't
well,
hate each other.
no, well, it was unfortunate. It was supposed to be an island, and we thought we'd be like in the middle of the convention,
Oh
but they
no,
they put us up against the far corner wall.
really?
We were literally the vendor farthest away in the back corner. So our back wall was basically up against the wall. I mean, there was walking space, but who walks along the outer wall of a convention? So we realized like that's basically unusable space. So we had 9 authors spread across 6 tables. So
Okay.
we each got like 4.5, 5 feet of space. Um, but we divided the booth in half because it was half of the booth was all urban fantasy or like horror or stuff set in the modern day, and then the other half was all the dragons and stuff. So,
Let's make that line, people.
right. So as you'd come to the booth, it would be a guy named Scott who writes horror and kind of like street level superheroes and stuff like that. And then it was me, and then Ben, who both write southern urban fantasy with like a strong rural feel to it. But then the next
That's
2,
true.
they wrote urban fantasy and paranormal romance. So we would routinely get people that were like, a lot of times what we do is like, hey, what do you like to read?
Yeah,
And
no, that makes sense.
or like, what are you reading? And they'll be like,
Here's our
oh,
menu.
yeah. It's like they'll be like, oh, Fourth Wing, and I'm like, oh, go to the end, end of the
That's
row.
not. Go,
Yeah.
don't go
Oh,
here.
yeah. You like romance? Yeah. No, just skip all this and go to the end of the row because that's where all the romance is. So and it worked. It worked really well.
No, I think
So
there's a lot to be said for that. Like, even like actually creating a menu board of
yeah,
you're into, try this one.
yeah. And that was we were real curious how this is going to work because we've never done a booth this size
Yeah, that's
before.
a lot of people.
It is, and I've pretty frequently done 4 and 5 in a booth, but that's enough that you can. We call it sharing. That you people walk down and hear everyone's pitch, or
Right.
someone comes like, oh, I like to read this. It's like, oh, well, you should go talk to Richard. Oh, you like dragons? Go talk to Richard. You like otters? Go talk to Ben. Um,
Who
you know,
doesn't like otters?
exactly. And so, but with 8, 9 people, you can't really do that. People just get tired. They don't want to hear 9 people's pitches.
No, no,
No
no.
one. No. Well, that said, like one person in like 30 does. They will go and talk to every person and hear
Oh,
every
that's
pitch.
nice.
Um,
They're young
Uh,
and don't have back problems.
yes, absolutely. It is almost always young people.
Yeah,
Every so
because
often it's someone a little older, but yes, I would
it's the
say it's
standing
always
on the concrete floor. That's how.
yeah. So that's why we divided the booth in half so that we could quickly just like if you like traditional fantasy, just I'm not going to pitch you anything. Just go talk to that half of the booth.
Because you'll be
And
happier.
right, and the inverse, they would do the same for us. And so
Oh,
then
of course.
at that point, then it is like, oh hey, what do you? Okay, you're more into paranormal romance. Go talk to Sydney. Go talk to Amanda. Or oh, you like horror? You need to talk to Scott. So it works out that way. So
Figure out where you need to go.
yeah, but I would happily share with Cozy. So because I feel like we're not gonna cannibalize each other's sales.
No,
I feel
no,
like
I 100% know that we are not.
yeah,
I might catalyze a little bit of you have a book on book selling, on being an
yeah,
author,
yeah.
and there's some social media books of mine that are coming out.
Well, I don't even really most of the time I don't even put that on the table.
I own
It, it's
it.
it's on, I do it's on the table, but I really only bring that out if it happens a few times at con where someone comes up, they are working towards being an author and they just have a lot of questions. And those people are great, and I love answering their questions.
Right. You're
Um,
very
and so
kind about that.
and so normally after they've asked 3 or 4 questions, most of the time they realize what's going on and they're kind of wrapping up and they got other authors they can talk to. Um, and I kind of get a read on them, and if I think they might be interested, I will actually pitch them like, hey, if you want more, you could just reach out to me on my website, or also I do have this book here that's kind of like my consolidated. I'm not going to call it wisdom. I'm going to say my litany of
Things Bob knows.
my litany of mistakes and what I've learned from them. Um, but where I really sell it is you just have some people with no situational awareness, and they
Oh,
don't. They really just want to tell you about the book they're writing,
gotcha.
and they spend 20 minutes
Of your
talking to you.
time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
they're
is
not asking.
fine, but you're
They're
trying to
not
make
well. They're
you
not
got to make
asking
some money.
questions.
Right.
They're just talking at me, and I'm just yeah. Oh yeah, no. If they have questions, I love to answer. But if you're just pitching a book to me, I'm not a publisher. You know,
No.
especially if it's a book you haven't written.
Oh
like
yeah, no. Let's not do that.
so that's where that book really comes in. Is occasionally people talk to me so long that they feel guilt, and then they just buy that. I'll be like, oh well, hey, if you have any questions, I've got a book on this, and that's where I sell that book.
That's where you sneak that puppy in.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we know that there's the Redneck Wizard. We know that
Yep,
there's the book on how to be an author. And then you also do RPG stuff.
I
Explain
do.
this thing.
So I started as most people do by playing Dungeons and Dragons. I played it for
As we do.
yeah, I played it for a long, long, long time, and I discovered one sheet RPGs.
Yes, which I think is just amazing. I'm
I
all
love
about
them.
this.
I love them. I love one sheet RPGs, and when I discovered them, I was like, I'd always kind of done little bits of game design, but publishing a game in my mind, like publishing a game is just so much goes into that, and it's like I can't really devote the time to that. Well, I discovered one sheet RPGs. I was like, well, hey, I could do that. I could write a game on one sheet of paper. So I wrote like 40 of them and put them all up on Drive Through RPG and itch.io. And so they were all there for a long time. And I kind of like my wife loves pointing out the ways my ADD manifests.
I have no idea
And
how that goes.
it's how like super passionate and into something I will be for about 4 months. And then I drop it, and then it may be years before I pick it back up. And so yeah, I made like 41 sheet RPGs in like 4 or 6 months, and then never made another one. And and so shockingly, they didn't sell all that well. These kind of half thought out one sheet RPGs. Uh, but through all that, I really started to discover the wider world of indie RPGs, games like Morkborg and Troika, like all these games that exist outside the Dungeons and Dragons ecosystem.
Universe.
Like, yeah, I knew some of the big ones, like White Wolf, all the World of Darkness books, and like if it was a big name, I knew
You knew
about
it.
it. I kept up with the industry a little bit, but the indie stuff I had no idea. And so the past 5 or 6 years, I've really gotten into it. I don't play D&D anymore. I play games like Mork Borg or Troika, Kids on Bikes, stuff like that. Well, I got really into zine culture, which coming out of like the punk scene, the punk and metal
Hmm.
scene, as I do, like zine culture was always, a big part of that. And so when I discovered, like, oh, hey, people are making these zines, and yeah, no one's getting rich off of them, but I was like, I could do that. Like, yes, making a player's handbook, a la Dungeons and Dragons, I'm never going to be that guy.
Yeah.
I don't have the spoons. But making a 20-page zine that's a self-contained game, like that's exactly my wheelhouse. And so I have made I've got 5 zines out now. They're each 20 pages. Technically it's 24, but it's 20 interior pages. It's 24 cuz the cover and inside of the cover. So anyway, but 20-page zines, and they're all self-contained games. They just use a simple rule system that I came up with that you can teach anyone to play in about 3 minutes. Most of them have pre-made characters. They all have pre-made adventures in them. So the idea being, someone didn't show up for Dungeons and Dragons, rather than just not playing anything. It's like, hey, why don't we just play a session of this game? They're all designed to really be one shots, and yeah, they're doing uh, in person. They're selling quite well. Less so online, but I also don't market them. So
For
funny
say,
how that works.
funny how that works. You don't do
Yeah.
that. But are we okay? I'm sorry, there was growling and not from the dog.
Oh.
There, do you
No.
see? Did you hear that? You
Yeah.
probably didn't hear that, but
No.
that's my girl. She's
Yeah.
just a growling away. We love her.
Yeah.
Well, I put a link up to where the games are because I think it's important. So they're at Bearded Bard Inkworks, I believe is.
Yeah. That is it. That's my publishing company. That the idea is, over time I will expand to start publishing other people's stuff. I'm not going to be doing novels. There's other people better than that. But the niche I want to hit is, you've read the book, now play the game. So
So
yeah,
speaking of that, Bob,
yeah,
so Ben, who is Bob's road partner,
yeah,
uh, partner in road,
yeah,
uh, he showed me an app called Obsidian,
yes,
which I love, by the way. It's like a wiki, but
yeah,
it's your wiki. And I've been putting my because I'm writing a cozy fantasy. I'm keeping track of um, character types, whether they're druid or wizard or whatever they are. Every spell, I'm writing it down in there,
yeah,
all categorized. I have 3 different types of magical um, systems that are utilized. I have them all written down and described. And I thought, one day I'm going to knock on Bearded Bard Inkworks door and go,
yeah.
hi, I need a game.
Oh, absolutely. Like, and that's what I want to do. And the cool thing about it is, I say, like, you've read the book, now play the game.
But I love that.
Well, the thing is, what I've found, at least selling in person, it's really two totally different demographics. The people who buy my games don't buy my books, and vice versa.
Oh,
Every so often, I do have someone that's like, "Oh, I'll get book one and let me get the zine," but
I can see
by and
that.
large, they don't. Those, but it's the people who are buying the zines. If I didn't have those zines on the table, I would have gotten no money out of them. So
Right. No, 100%.
yeah. So the idea being that, one, it works for me, that, hey, I'm hitting a different market, but I want other authors to have this opportunity. That it's like, hey, you have these zines on there, but also, like, I just know that, going back to talking about, like, my direction going forward, like,
Hmm.
getting these super fans, they want to engage. They
Right.
want to give you money. They want to
Oh,
support you. And if you have something like that, where it's like a bundle of, like, hey, you can buy a signed copy of the book and it comes with the game.
yeah.
Yeah, people will absolutely jump on that. So that's the direction that my press will be heading. So,
Well,
and then also, my plan is, like, I have one game called the Cryptid Capture Core,
right.
and the idea there is, I'm going to start, eventually I will be putting out zines that are just adventures, each one based on a different cryptid. But
Oh,
I want authors,
to do.
like, like, hey, like if you are a huge fan of the lizard man of Skateboard Swamp, which is a real cryptid, um, r- real cryptid. Um,
Woogaloo.
yeah, if that's your jam, you're like, oh,
That's
I
my
would love
jam.
I would love to write something like that. That I want to like, hey, let's just throw like let's get like 5 authors in here. You just have to write 2 pages. These adventures are not that in depth. They're
We
designed to
could
be
do
one
that.
shot. And so then it's like, hey, boom, 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 and then it, the thing I think would be cool is especially if authors could work in characters from their books, you know, as like an
Yes.
NPC or something like little
Hmm.
Easter eggs for folks. So then when you've got these a copy of this on the table, it's like, hey, you oh you've already you were here last year. You've already bought all my books. Well, what do I have new? Well, I've got. You may not be interested in this, but
But
I did write an adventure for this game,
it's
and
so
I
good,
got
Bob.
Easter eggs in there, and I think people would, ain't nobody going to get rich off this, but it's fun,
But
and
it
yeah,
helps bring them in again. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Because I think that's why I started thinking about how would I RPG my characters in the book and the space, the world that they're in. Because if you're going to spend that much time world building, why not use it? And I think
exactly,
that the people that were on the right hand side of the table, they could do that, and the people that are reading their books may be interested in it, if for no other reason than
yeah.
to read the tale that comes with it.
Exactly, exactly. So I think there's something here. I know that there's probably other people that are doing this and probably doing it better than me, but I'm the only person I know that's doing it.
You're the only one I
So
know.
I'm hoping we can make something happen with this. And the other thing is, there's a lot of folks that I just kind of want to work with. That
Right.
I don't want to co-write a novel with them. I don't want to co-write a novel with anyone fundamentally. It's just a
Fundamentally, I love doing that.
it's a lot. For me, I just my process is such.
You got
I
a
don't
process down.
I don't think it would work for me. But working on something like this,
Yeah, no, that's easy.
yeah, that way I get to work with folks that I really respect and like, oh man, like Sarah Madsen,
Mhm.
love her. Have the a huge crush on her husband Tim. Hope they one day see this. Me and him, we both wear the battle jackets to cons, and so
Nice.
every time we see each other, we just stop and just like, ooh, oh, what new patches do you have? Um,
That's
um,
so
but
sweet.
but anyway, she's done work for you know she's written for Wizard of the Coast. She's written for Pathfinder.
Nice.
She's written adventure stuff. And it's like I would love to just be able to include an adventure that she did. And again, these are not that in depth. No one
Right.
no one has to give up paying gigs to work on this. They can just work on it in their free time. And so I think that'll be a lot of fun, and it'll let me work with people that I probably would never get to work with otherwise. So
Well, I think it's intriguing. And, if you ever need somebody to write the Rougarou, let me know.
yeah, I will absolutely reach out to you. It'll probably be next year.
That's
But
awesome.
next, I got a
Got to
kind of a
think of it.
secret. Well, I got a secret project that I'm kind of working
Ooh,
on for zine wise.
secret.
That uh, that I want that to be my next zine project. But then the plan is next year to start building out expansions for some of these games. Like right now, I'm just trying to get
Just trying to have it
games.
happen.
Well, I'm just trying to get the core games on the table, and then next year we'll start working on some expansions. So that's the plan. Yeah. Well, but it's me, so
4 to 5 months, who knows?
who knows how you know.
Well, I do have some more questions for you because we still have a little bit of time.
Yeah.
I know that and I've talked about your approach to Patreon. And because I read your blog post, by the way, when he was talking about his change, when Bob was talking about his change and his approach, you can read all about that on his website, Tales by Bob, on his blog. But you talked about how you're going to do things on Patreon a little bit differently, and I want to know what that is.
Well, it's
Oh,
for me Patreon.
dramatic pause. I
Well,
love
no, I'm
that.
I'm trying to think of how best to say it because I did not write about this specifically in that post.
No.
So I have years ago. For those who don't know, I've talked about this a few times on different podcast, so people may have heard this, but
He talked
if you
about it
have,
to my class, actually.
yeah, if you
So
have, I'm sorry, but essentially,
deal with it, people.
when I started Patreon, what I would start a cycle of I would make promises, and the moment I started making promises of what people would get, I would crumple under that pressure immediately, and then they would get nothing, and then I would feel guilty, and it would just spiral. So where I started having success with my Patreon was I told people it's $2 a month. That's it. You get what you get. Okay.
I love that approach, though.
No promises. You're going to get what you get. I will try to get you something every week. And so, and since then, I have actually I have grown it. It won't be this month, but I think next month I will break $50. Like, technically, I've broke $50 on a month on my Patreon, but it kind of pays in arrears. So
Right.
I, I just got a payment of $48, but I had
For
someone else,
March.
yeah, or whatever it is, and so I know I had someone, the guy who came to see me at Huntsville. He signed up for my, like, he went home and signed up, paid
Oh,
extra on my Patreon.
oh.
Like he didn't do the $2. Anyway, Chris, if you see
Chris,
this,
if you're out there, we love
yeah,
you.
yeah, you're the reason why we do this. And
It's
so
true.
the uh so I will finally have hit $50, and that was kind of a big goal for me because I think at that point I'm covering all my monthly expenses,
Right.
my fixed monthly expenses, web
Right.
hosting, my podcast host, my Vector stock subscription. I think at that point, all those are covered just for my Patreon, which is the
It's
dream.
glorious. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I want to. I'll
Oh my
just be
gosh.
honest.
And so, but it has never really been a focus of mine. I have consistently got content on there. I have a whole book on there, actually. I have a draft of a novel on there, tons of stuff. So I don't ignore it, but it's never been a priority.
Priority.
And so now I'm trying to make it, my plan moving forward is to make it more of a priority, because the people who are signing up for this, they're not signing up for the content that I find. They're signing up because they just like what I do and want to support me. So I actually, a lot of my patrons have been because of my transparency. They see all my transparency reports. They have no interest in my books, but
But
they love how transparent I am, and so as like a thank you, they will. Sometimes they do buy my books. About a couple times a month, I will get an email or a message from someone saying, "Hey, love your transparency stuff. I just bought all your books as a thank you." Like that. That's not uncommon, but
that's just awesome.
it's a lot of my patrons are from that. That $2 a month. They're like, they get $2 in value of my blog posts every month, and so
Bob writes a
um,
good blog post. I'm going to say that. You really
so
do.
hey, I actually really enjoy it. I missed out on being a blogger for a living, but I think I could have done it. But anywho, so my goal is to, these are the people that they just want to support what I'm doing,
Hmm.
and so I'm rethinking kind of necessarily what content. Like, I'll largely keep the same content, but I'm trying to think, like, if you were just someone who just wanted to support me, you don't fundamentally care as much about the content per se. You're really just
Right.
here to support me. What is something that would appeal to someone like that? Like, do you want more Howard Marsh essays? Because I can do that. And so just trying to engage with my people, figure out what they really want, and try and make my Patreon less, "Well, this is what I did this week. Here it is," and more being a little more intentional with it, while
What you do.
still not making any promises. $2 a month, you get what you get. So,
I love that. It's
yeah.
like, it's,
That's
24 bucks a year. That's not bad.
No, no. And if
Mm.
you it's literally and what I've started doing is I've actually started now cross-posting all my blog posts to Patreon. So, one, and I set them public. You can
Right.
you can come just follow my Patreon, not pay anything, and all my blog posts are posted there, and you'll get a notification. So if that interests you at all, you can go, "Oh, well, hey, I'm tired of having to remember to go look at Bob's website. Boom. It's now all my blog posts are there. And you can leave comments. I leave it to where anyone can come by, drop by, comment, all that jazz. So, yeah,
It'll be fun.
my plans. That's my well,
Well, and I know I still
plays out.
gotta figure out this newsletter thing, Bob. It was my goal for the year.
Yeah.
It's May, and I'm still not there. And and then
Well,
and then I was debating newsletter or Substack, and I don't like Substack.
yeah, I know a lot of folks who have made the switch,
Yeah.
and but I'm in the same boat. I don't. There's nothing wrong with it.
No.
It's just I don't.
I get
I don't know.
notifications at like 3 a.m. Please, people, stop.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my thing. I'm happy where I'm at. Um, but talking about like goals, like man, you know what my big goal for this year on my newsletter was
What
actually
is
doing newsletter swaps. You know how many newsletter swaps I've done this year?
one?
One. And
You see, if I could get my newsletter going, we could swap, Bob.
yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. I made a list. I talked to people, had it all planned out, and then just
Life happens.
none of that. My other thing was like, oh man, I'm going to get all my books on Ingram Spark, like in print. Get my print versions uploaded so that I can go wide on my print versions. And we're we're now like 3 months into that project, and how many books have been uploaded? Zero.
Oh no, Bob, you've only got 3 more months before ADHD takes over and you're gone.
I know. I know.
Oh,
So
well, I'm gonna so I've started using, our listeners who listen all the time know that I've been using an app called Finch that's built around the dopamine ADHD get things done, and it actually
yeah,
has helped me, and it's actually helped me write. But I've actually put in the steps for a podcast, so you're in
yeah,
my Finch as a goal today. But I think I'm going to put the newsletter in there,
yeah.
and the I need to schedule a talk with Bob to walk me through how to make this happen.
Yes, yeah.
So
Please do.
I'm gonna
Please do.
we're gonna schedule appointments.
Yeah. I've really doubled down on Asana over the past few months. Like I've had one for a long time, and that is the one thing where I am happy with the direction it's going. Is I now run my life through Asana.
Asana is awesome. Like Asana is where I put everything, and then on the daily I put it all in the Finch app, so
Yeah,
that I can like
get that
get
hit.
it all in there. But
Yeah,
it has like, it puts in when to clean the litter boxes, and I can just schedule that to show up.
yeah,
And I can say things like do the dishes twice in the day, and it'll show up. So
yeah,
I still use Asana for everything. If you guys don't know what Asana is, it's a project management tool that will help you manage your life.
yeah. Yes, it
Um,
it really will.
it
It
will.
really will.
Though I've been told some of my students like a thing called notation.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard.
I know some folks use that.
So
I actually at work, I actually really like Microsoft Project.
do you?
I do. I'm weirdly into it
Weirdo.
at work.
Do you like OneDrive?
No,
Okay, good.
fundamentally, I don't really like any Microsoft product, but we are a Microsoft shop at
We are too.
work, and I will say Microsoft Project. I've kind of that's how I organize my work life. My work life
Gotcha.
is 100% organized in Microsoft Project because the Microsoft To Do was not getting it done.
Oh
um,
no, no. Mm-mm.
so
Mm. I use
Microsoft
Asana for
Project.
work.
Yeah. So Asana, I keep them both open at all times. Asana is open on one screen and Microsoft Project is open on another, because I need reminders of all things at all
Oh my
times.
God, yes. In the minutia for me sometimes.
Oh man,
Well, before we
yes,
leave out of here, I do have some more questions, Bob. Are you ready?
yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. I should start like the rapid fire questions segment.
Pow, pow, pow,
Pow, pow,
pow.
pow. Now that I'm in charge
Yeah,
for the night. Um, we'll see how long that stays. Hold it.
look, I think it's time to stage a coup.
There we go.
I think it's
Oh, I
fees
can't.
for a trip or whatnot, and now you
That's
stage a
it.
coup.
I, that's it. And he said, "Oh, I'll pop in."
Sure, Charles.
True.
Sure,
Sure,
sure.
Charles.
You can
When
pop into my state, but not the episode I'm on.
I
Okay,
know, and
okay,
it
Charles.
takes less effort. Well, I bet you he knew you were in Huntsville, so he wasn't going to have to see
There
you.
we go. There we go.
It was all planned to make you feel good without having to do anything. Anyway, We're not going to smack about Charles, but he really is lovely, and we
No,
adore him.
he's so good.
He's
I
my
love that kid.
bud. I
Yeah.
love Charles. Okay, so rapid fire question number one. Besides Dragon Con, what's your favorite con to go to?
Multiverse.
Why?
It's the best networking con that's not uh, Dragon. So if you're new to the whole scene and you're interested in doing conventions, I can't recommend it enough. You can actually get FaceTime with tons of industry folks. But as someone who's more established, it's basically my family reunion con.
Nice.
So a lot of these folks I don't get to hang out with at length at other cons. I get to hang out with them a lot at Multiverse.
Favorite panelist besides Tyra that you've sat on a panel with? See,
Um,
I gave you that way you don't have to worry about insulting me.
Clint Hall is really good on a panel. I
You
do
are
I do really
right.
like Clint.
Clint is all.
Nancy Knight is kind of the goat at panels, but she's I never really panel with her. She always moderates.
Yes,
She's a fantastic moderator who never has any notes.
it's all here.
Oh man, she's great. Um, yeah, I think those would be
I
my
love
just
Clint's great.
top of my
Clint
hat. Yeah,
Clint is or like Nancy has no notes. Clint has enough notes for everybody.
right.
He
Yeah,
is he
yeah,
is
yeah,
ready to go.
yeah.
Favorite city that you visited for a con?
Um, I mean Atlanta because of the
Okay.
aquarium. I'm a sucker for an aquarium.
I
It's got
didn't
the
know
best.
that.
It's if there's a town with an aquarium, your boy is going to go. Like aquariums are my favorite thing to go to, and
Oh
Atlanta's
my
got the
god.
best aquarium in the southeast.
Oh
So
my gosh. Okay, well, first off, you and Shane need to spend more time together.
okay,
Um,
yeah,
because he's an aquarium
yes,
junkie too.
yes. Um,
Uh,
do y'all
Charles, have you, huh?
do y'all do the aquarium during Dragon Con? Have you ever?
We did once, but I always
Yeah,
end up having a panel during it.
yeah. I went one time, but I didn't pay for the VIP stuff, and it's like, I feel
Yeah,
like
no,
I should have. If you're going to do it, do the VIP.
the VIP was definitely worth it. I
Yeah.
went the year that, oh, Mummy, the guy from Mummy.
Uh, Brendan Fraser.
Yes, that he was there.
Ooh.
He was
Okay.
there
Yeah.
just at Dragon Con. He wasn't, he was just there
Okay.
being a Dragon
Just,
Con
just hanging,
person.
just hanging out. I love it. I love it.
Favorite restaurant?
Uh, this is so weird.
We like weird.
My favorite chain restaurant that like people in theory would have heard of, that
We'll
is
take that.
Chili's. It's Chili's. I
What do you
love
get at
Chili's.
Chili's?
The chicken dinners and corn. The corn on
Okay.
the corn on the cob. And also my favorite pun of all time is what they say, chili today, hot tamale. And I don't know if 'cause I've said that pun probably conservatively 5,000 times in my life. Like seriously, I say it probably once a day. And I don't know if that's just lodged in my brain. So I'm obsessed with Chili's, but that's where I went for my birthday.
Oh, okay. Say, favorite type of food?
I'm a steak and potatoes kind of guy.
Okay, okay, I'll take that.
That was my
Uh,
birthday meal. So
Most surprising person you sat next to on a panel?
Sherilyn Kenyon,
Good.
she's like I knew that she was kind of a big name, but I looked her up ahead of time and she sold like 170 million books or something like that. And I'm getting close to having sold 5,000. So
Bob.
it was John Hartness, me, Sherilyn Kenyon. So it's like, okay, thank you, Nancy Knight. You were very
This is
kind
awesome.
to put me on this panel.
Yeah, I think was it Nancy or Vanessa? Somebody sat me next to Kevin J. Anderson.
Yeah, I've paddled with Kevin, but
He's awesome.
I did not get to sit next to him. It was a Dune panel, and contractually, he is not allowed to talk about the Dune movies that just got made.
Okay.
And this was a 40 years of Dune panel. So they
Okay.
brought on some of us scrubs so that we could talk about what he was not allowed to talk
Why don't
about.
you fill that one, Bob?
Yeah. Hey, I'll take it. It was main programming, so I'll take it.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
100% agree.
yeah.
What else do I want to ask you? Favorite state that you've lived in, or have you only lived in one?
Just Alabama, baby. Just
That's
Alabama. Woo, roll Tide.
so.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Oh yeah.
I married a bulldog.
Oh, yeah. I remember. I
I
remember.
married a bulldog. I'm a yellow jacket,
For me,
so
Shane, we we acknowledge
that's right. You did
as
the
long as
SEC.
as long as we're not playing each other, we generally tend to
It's
be
okay.
okay with each other's teams.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay.
We're better now that you got a new coach. Anyway, I tell you the coach I'm really interested in is Tex. I think that I'm excited about this year. But anyway, uh, I haven't mentioned Taylor Swift this episode, so I'm going to because
Yeah.
that's I got a. There's a potential for a panel on the digital media track that is named after a line in a Taylor Swift song.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I
I
saw
might.
someone at Huntsville who had a death metal shirt. Like how all death metal bands have the script that you can't read the name of the
Oh
band. And they
yeah,
all have, but it was Taylor Swift.
I love
He was
it.
walking around with a Taylor Swift shirt, but it looked like a death metal shirt. I called him over to man. I love your shirt. So
Please go.
yeah,
Favorite Taylor Swift song, if you know any.
I don't.
Okay, it's okay. Okay, I'll rectify that the next time we see each other.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not opposed to it. I know the band I used to roadie for, the front woman of that band uh, knew like a lot of Taylor's people, like when she was coming up, and she told me some cool stories about like back the early days of Taylor Swift and stuff like that. So that was
Very
neat.
cool.
So
Yeah, she seems to be a nice person, so we'll take it.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, what cons are you going to be at?
End of this month, I'll be at Con Carolinas.
I know. I keep hoping. Maybe next year we'll do Con
Yeah.
Carolina.
And then the next one after that, I'm doing like some. I'm doing Con Carolinas, and then I'm doing Impact Book Festival, which is not a convention, but it's in Birmingham. But the next con after that will be Southern Fried Gaming
You're going to be
Con.
at Southern Fried?
Yes, yes, I
Oh,
will.
well, of course you are with your RPGs.
Well, it's gonna be my first time. I'm super excited. So I'm super excited to check out. I got to figure out where I'm going to stay
Have
because
you
Ben is
have you
not doing that one. So
did you get
um,
a room?
not yet, because I'm a real slacker. So
Well, we don't live too far from it, and we have a guest room.
okay, I will keep that in mind. I've got a lot of folks that would let me crash, but
Good.
I prefer like I prefer to not
No.
impose. So
Well,
um,
we have a hotel room Saturday night, so you could
yeah,
crash there and you want to have you just
yeah,
have,
no,
cats.
no, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Well,
I just went slacking on that one. So
let us know if you need help. So Southern Fried, and then what happens in August?
a little bit of Dragon Con.
Dragon Con. Do you have one between Southern Fried and Dragon?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Um, Pretty sure I don't.
And then I'm
I think I've got like some like um, local-ish, or not local, but like one-day events, like I said, that Impact Book Festival. I'm bringing up my list now because I could have had this open the whole time, but
It's okay,
I'm
but
I'm
you got
I'm
to stretch that brain sometimes.
okay.
Is it on
So
your website? I could have looked on your website, couldn't I?
not every event, because some of the events I just haven't
You
put
haven't
on.
shared with people, right?
Oh, I'm doing Fan Expo Knoxville in between. I'll be doing that in
Oh,
July.
okay.
That's a vendor con. So, and then October I'll be doing Multiverse and
Right.
Foothill Book Festival.
What is Foothill?
It's just it used to be called Summerton Book Festival. It's
Hmm.
just a small town book festival, but
Nice.
the best single day sales I've ever had have been at that event. Like, it's remote rural Alabama that's just starved for books. So
Hey, I
yep.
applaud that. And then you'll probably be at Conjuration, I would
Oh
guess.
yeah, yeah. I'll be Conjuration again, and that's how I always end my convention year,
Yeah.
is Conjuration. So that's my last one to wrap up the year. So
It's a good one
yeah,
to wrap up with.
yeah, yep, yep,
Okay.
yep.
I had text coming through and I'm like, what's coming through? I don't
Yeah.
understand. Why are people texting me? They should know that I'm doing the thing. So we know that you're going to be at all these things, and I have to admit I was getting them so I could put them on the podcast when I drop mine. Who cares about this one? Um, and we know that they can find you at tellsbybob.com.
Yeah.
And do you have a newsletter to sign up for? And where else can they find you?
If you just search Tales by Bob on your social media platform of choice, you'll probably find me. Um, I may not be active
Sorry.
there, but if you tag me, I will get notified and I'll come talk to you.
Smart man, smarter than some of my students who didn't tag for their projects.
Yeah.
They gotta learn, gotta learn. Well, I cannot wait to see you at Southern Fried if I don't see you before then. And
Yeah.
again, you may see Bob in the future because he could be the stand-in. I
Yeah.
mean, you have more hair than Charles,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you gender swapped for
But
me.
we're
We'll just say that.
we're about the same. He's a little taller, but
Yeah,
I'm a
he's
little
pretty tall.
wider. So I think between the two of us, we even out. So I loved how on Chattacon, the panel that you moderated, that me and him were like the
Oh my
bookends.
gosh.
It was, and it just got like progressively shorter as you went to the
I
middle.
know. It's like, and here's Tyra
Yeah,
trying to control the ends of the table.
yeah. I behave more when Charles is on there because I know he's gonna he's gonna cause the most shenanigans.
I
So,
know. Well, and I do somewhat regret that he's not here to cause shenanigans with you, but I'm sure at some point we will get all three of
oh,
us on
oh, for
here
sure, for sure.
and wreck it and have a good time.
Yeah.
The other thing I want you to talk about that you haven't yet before we go is your nonprofit.
Yeah. So I run a small nonprofit in the Montgomery area. It's essentially just me, and it supports art, culture, and music in the Montgomery area. And so we host events. The main thing we do is try and work on policy because I'm a policy guy, weirdly. I was a technical writer for a while. He
Which
wrote a
is
lot of policy.
awesome.
And so I really enjoy working with policy, strangely. And so we've done things like got a busking ordinance passed in Montgomery and got the entertainment district expanded and stuff like that. And I'm hoping, because of the nature of my day job, that we're going to start working uh, on access to books for inmates. So I think that's where we're the direction we're heading. So
That's important.
it is. It's very important. So yeah.
Well, I applaud you. I think I don't know how you have time to have a wife, Bob. I don't know how you work that into the schedule. Uh, but we know that Thursday nights are hers.
Yes, every Thursday night, that is our date night. So
That's so
she's
sweet.
guaranteed that night, and then she gets at least one weekend a month where I'm not there, so she can relax without me bugging her, telling her I can't find that thing. Help me find that thing, and she immediately walks over to it.
Of course, that's our
Yeah,
job. My husband
yeah.
just had his weekend without Tyra.
I get my one of the year. I typically, because I'm gone so much. A lot of times my wife schedules her like girls' weekends when I'm already going to be out of town. So my wife is going out of town for a kid's birthday party with my kiddo, and so
Oh,
I get my one weekend a year next weekend to just.
just be you, Bob.
I'm just going to walk around the house in my underwear, carrying a cat on each shoulder, watching all the horror movies that she won't let me watch while she's around.
Now, so have you ever come to Monsterama?
I haven't. I've been. I haven't done any like horror focused stuff because I've been. My goal has been to have my horror trilogy finished and then start
Ah,
doing them. But I've got a horror novel coming out with Falstaff that's supposed to be launching around Dragon Con. They're trying to coincide
yay.
the launch with Dragon. So if nothing else, I'll have that horror novel soon. So next year, my plan is to start doing horror conventions. So
Well, you should talk to Mike Gordon because he runs one of
yes.
the tracks at Monsterama.
Ooh, good
Yeah,
to
I know.
know.
We
Good to
keep
know.
thinking we might drop into that one, just day
Yeah.
trip it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and again, our guest room is your guest friend.
Yeah. I will come home smelling of strange growly little
Yes,
cats, and my cats will be like, betrayal.
betrayal. Bad man, you.
Yeah.
We knew you had it in you.
Yep.
So go find Bob at Tales by Bob. I'm Tyra Burton, and you guys should know where to find me by now. And oh my gosh, I've got stuff. Hang on. Um, Kaz is going to help me with newsletters. But also, I'm supposed to remind everybody that I forgot the two announcements I'm supposed to do. He only told me, he said two things, and I just totally
Look,
forgot them
he
all.
he he abandoned us, so he
He
gets what he
did,
gets.
but I forgot my notes, probably because the first one had water on it. But anyway, the digital media track does need two more volunteers, believe it or not. They're just dropping like flies, our volunteers, but we need two more. But we need people who are tech savvy or want to be tech savvy because you're going to have to run boards and cameras and things that I do not understand, nor do I want to do. And you'll have to work a certain number of the hours during the con. I have no idea about any of that because I don't do that. Because as we know, Tyra is the non volunteer volunteer. So if you are interested, go to, oh, hang on. I've got another thing that says something. Okay, Bob, say goodbye to your thing because now I got to show
Yeah.
this. No, you don't have to say goodbye to you.
Oh,
Ooh, I can actually stop it. There we go. So Linktree DC Digital Media Track, go there and you can join our Discord and send the rock god of podcasting, better known as our track director with a swollen head, um, an email about wanting to be a volunteer, or you can write me at tyra@tyraburton.com because I don't have any other email addresses. I think it's digitalmediatrack@dragoncon.org, but don't see that. No, don't do that.
yeah.
Go to Discord or send it to the Tyra. I will send you to the right place. But two tech savvy or want to be tech savvy volunteers. And also the big news. Oh, hang on. I need a drum beat for this one. No, I don't need that one. That didn't work either. I'll do an air horn. We are moving. We are not going to be on Wednesday nights anymore. So this was it. Wednesday nights are gone. Unfortunately, we've got a lot of conflicts. And if I teach again in the fall, let's be honest, Charles can't be left alone for 4 weeks in a row.
No.
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 Absolutely not. So we are moving to Tuesdays and we're even adjusting a little bit more. Yes, pray for us. We are moving to Tuesdays at 8:30. There we go. I wrote it down and I could not remember. I grades are due tomorrow at noon, Bob, and I got 18 projects to grade.
You're good. You're good.
So
You are good.
we do have the IFB International. I'm just going to show it here. Maybe broadcast to Interfleet is Love Us. We love you too. 8 p.m. tomorrow on their channel. They're going to be doing Battle Star Galactus. Jack Stoffer will be live tomorrow night, so that's pretty cool. And they actually had a question for you, Bob. Are you ready?
I am. I am ready.
If you didn't do horror, what would you like to do? Well, you also do urban fantasy. So we're
Yeah.
going to say either one of those. What would you do?
I wish I had. I do enjoy cozies.
I love cozies.
I do enjoy cozy fantasy is kind of, I don't know. I've kind of really gotten into it lately. So that and lit RPG, I've kind of gotten into that pretty heavily as well. Which is kind of
you're sitting next to Ben.
This is true. This is true. But like Dungeon Crawler Carl and some of these others, I think if I wasn't doing this, if I had kind of known what lit RPG was earlier on, I might have given
Been
that a
there.
run.
I could see you doing that. I could see you doing
Yeah,
that.
it's similar to game design ish.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, on that thought, we'll think about Bob writing a cozy.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just see like putting you in book form as like, the little town, except for age yourself about 30 years.
I if you sign up for my Patreon, shameless plug,
Ooh.
I actually am very slowly writing a Jubal County cozy about a librarian.
No, you're not.
I am, yeah. But it's me doing it, so it's only so cozy. But
there is that.
It's a librarian with a Maine Coon. So.
Oh well, that's a darling.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a little bit. I'm not telling anybody about my thing online, but you and I will talk in just a second. Bob, I would like to say something to you from a marketing point of view.
Yeah.
I can't find a link to your Patreon on your website easily.
That's a good observation.
I just thought I'd say that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It is on my link tree, which is probably also not easily linked on my website either.
And there are pictures on here that don't even look like you. I'm just saying. Okay.
Yeah,
Bob,
no, I told you I'm rebuilding my website, and I want you to take a look at it before it goes live.
I can't wait. So I'm popping over to his Instagram to see if he. No,
I do have. There's a link to my link tree in my Instagram, so and my Patreon's on there. But it's
I'm
patreon.com/tales by Bob. So
There. Oh, well, that was easy. Yes, it is. So
yeah,
go there, help Bob out, and buy his books and read about a redneck wizard with a crippling meth addiction, because that's what we all need in our
yeah,
lives.
yeah.
And oh, are you ready, Bob?
I'm ready.
Thanks for being awesome together. We appreciate it. And I didn't have to be alone. Bob, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Charles, we missed you.
You did. You were missed.
You are. There was not enough shenanigans.